Welcome to AM Excellence 75. AM Excellence 75, the 75th consecutive day of the AM Excellence videos. So I want to thank you all for tuning in, for watching, whether you've watched 75 of them or whether this is your first one. I sincerely appreciate it. The book we're reading today is called The Energy Bus by John Gordon. And it's a fun little book. It's different than the other books that I've been reading, but it's a fiction book, but it has these parables. And another book that I would recommend that I've read that this kind of reminds me of is The Alchemist. The Alchemist is, again, it's a fiction book, but it has a point to it. It has a moral. It has valuable takeaways from the book. And I want to start today's chapter by, so today's video is called Create Your Own Positive Bus. Create Your Own Positive Bus. And I thought, maybe I should use a different title to attract more people to watch it, but I decided to go with it because it fits so well. So it may not be the from a copywriting standpoint the best title, but it goes along with this book. And if you've been watching, if you've been following, you're going to appreciate it. So the chapter starts out, and this book is talking about energy. It's called The Energy Bus, and the chapter starts out. Yesterday we ended with, there's two dogs inside of you. The positive dog and the negative dog. Which one survives? Which one wins? The one you feed the most. I was running sprints yesterday with a student athlete around town that I train, and we were doing sprints, and he just, he was saying these negative things, and I said, I shared that story with him. I said, look, you're looking for excuses. You're looking for reasons why you're not performing to your best. You're feeding the negative dog. You've got to flip the script, feed the positive dog. And the chapter starts out, it's just a cool little thing to, again, a sound bite to plug into your mind, to plug into your day. But it's called the One Good Shot Golf Theory. And it talks about people who play golf. I don't. But it talks about people who play golf. And that, over the course of 18 holes or 9 holes, they probably, have a ton of terrible shots, but they have one good shot. And when they walk away from that golf course in that golf game, they just focus. They harp on that one shot. Did you see that hole in one? Or did you see that birdie? Or did you see that? They focus on that one shot rather than the 50, 70 other terrible shots they had. They focus on that one shot. So as you're going on to your day, flip the script. It goes on to say, but in life, we oftentimes do the opposite. We oftentimes focus on the negatives. And trust me, I could easily be on the other side of this camera. We focus on the negatives. We focus on all the things that are wrong rather than the thing. Maybe it's only one thing that is right. So I'd encourage you, consider that, the one good golf shot theory. Apply that, implement that into your life. Focus on, if it's only one, focus on that one good golf shot. Now, this chapter talks about creating your own positive bus. What does that mean? So figuratively speaking, symbolically, our bus ride is our life. In our bus ride, the people we allow on our bus, what goes on our bus, is a small representation of the people we let into our lives, the things that we allow to go on in our lives. And we get to rule number 4 today. It says, invite people on your bus and share your vision for the road ahead. Invite people on your bus and share your vision for the road ahead. My co-host Dredd on A Fighter's Mindset, the Spaniard podcast, we just finished recording an episode of the podcast. And it was very coincidental because Dredd came to me with this idea, this concept for the show today, but at the same time I read this in the book today, so it seemed a right time to do that. And again, invite people on your bus. I'm inviting you on my bus. Officially. I'm inviting you on my bus. I'm asking you to be a part of my bus, right? Not going to pick you up, not going to honk the horn, but I'm asking you, I'm inviting you. You need to know that I'm saying, hey, hop on my bus. Let's do this. Let's create a ripple effect of good. Let's take people from here to there. Let's bridge a gap. Let's create a community. Let's form a community, a tribe of people, a busload of people who want to execute, who want to make a difference in their own lives, and then ripple effect in the lives of others. So you've got to ask people to get on your bus. What is your, I'm talking to you, what does your bus represent? What are your values? What is your vision? And you've got to execute, and you've got to ask, hey, people, hop on my bus. Maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your team at work, maybe it's your sports team. You've got to actually come out, ask people to join your bus, know what your bus stands for, your values and your vision, and build one by one by one by one. You've got to build that community. And he says, but as you drive, you want to keep asking people to get on. The worst they can say is no. Hey, do you want to help yourself? Do you want to help a good cause? Yes. Come aboard? No. Okay. You know, that's the worst. There's a book and there's a mindset called the go for no. It's this idea in business that you just keep trying, just keep trying. The more no's you get, the more likely you are to get a yes. The worst someone can say is no. So I brought something up on my computer, and there's two examples I wanted to show you today. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Abraham Lincoln. And I've referenced this before. In past videos that my mom, when I was a kid, my mom got me a poster, and it's still on my wall back home. I should actually get it for my house here, but it talks about Abraham Lincoln. And if you would like to get it, I'm going to hold it up right here. It looks like this, and I'm going to read it, because in the energy bus, so that's Abraham Lincoln right there. It says perseverance, and then where's my mouse? If you scroll down, it has some stuff written. And I'm going to read this because he's referenced in the book, and I read a lot about leadership, and Abraham Lincoln is referenced often. So this poster, it's Abraham Lincoln, and it says perseverance. Perseverance. So resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. You're resilient, you regain your shape, you regain your form. Perseverance is the stick-to-itiveness to pursue a long-term goal. So it's more long-term. It's the ability to stick to it. And this says about Abraham Lincoln. He failed in business in 1931. He was defeated for state legislature in 32. He tried another business in 33. It failed. His fiancée died in 35. He had a nervous breakdown in 1936. In 1943, he ran for Congress and was defeated. He tried again in 48 and was defeated again. He tried running for the Senate in 55 and lost. He ran for vice president the next year and lost. In 59, he ran for the Senate again and was defeated. And this gives me chills. In 1860, the man who signed his name, A. Lincoln, was elected the 16th president of the United States. Talk about perseverance. Talk about stick-to-itiveness. Talk about getting smacked in the face and continuing on. So as a what can you do today? You can look for that Abraham Lincoln poster of perseverance, and you can buy it and you can hang it on your wall. Life is always going to knock you down. The important thing, I had to reference this. Life is always going to knock you down. The important thing is you got to get back up. Haven't you seen the Rocky movie? Haven't you seen the Rocky movie? Right? It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, this is very applicable to you in your life, where you're at right now, where you're at today, professionally, in your life. Where are you? So it says, and the Gallup poll estimates that there are 22 million negative workers in the United States, costing around $300 billion a year in productivity. Okay, so Gallup poll. What the heck is a Gallup poll? Gallup. So I Googled it. A Gallup poll is basically a poll of public opinion. A poll of public opinion. P-O-L-L, of public opinion. And it says an estimated 22 million workers are presently actively disengaged, not focused, not present, not working towards the goal to which they should be working. This costs the U.S. economy up to $300 billion a year in productivity. $300 billion a year in productivity. In your life, are you actively engaged? What are you costing yourself if you're not actively engaged? And if you are actively engaged, are the people around you? And if they're not, what are they costing you? There's some other pretty cool stats here that I wanted to share with you. Extending longevity. And this is from a Gallup poll of public opinion. Increasing positive emotions could lengthen your lifespan by 10 years. There's another one I wanted to... Listen to this. 9 out of 10 people, Google Gallup poll, workplace negativity, and you'll find these stats. 9 out of 10 people say they are more productive when they're around positive people. Surround yourself with the best. 9 out of 10 people say they're more productive when they're around positive people. There's some other cool stats there, but I'll move on. But anyhow, I wanted to share with you the power of that positivity, the power of that emotion. Now, in the last book that I read, and I'll start to wind it down here, the last book that I read, Above the Line by Urban Meyer, he talked about the 10-80-10 rule. The 10-80-10 rule, to say that there's 10% of the people who are self-motivated, who are ambitious, who are driven, that you don't really need to worry about. Then there's the vast majority, the 80% in the middle, who they do the right thing, they're good people, they work well, etc., but they need that extra motivation, because if not, they'll just kind of stay stagnant. And then there's the 10% at the bottom who are just disengaged, actively disengaged. You're not going to change me. I am the way I am. And that idea comes up again in this book, The Energy Bus. And rule number 5 is this. Rule number 5 says, don't waste your energy on those who don't get on your bus. Don't waste your energy on those who don't get on your bus. There are people in your life that will not change. Make an honest effort. Make a pure effort to encourage change. But sometimes there are people who just aren't going to change, who aren't going to listen to you regardless of anything in your life. Maybe it's family. Maybe that's a tough decision. Maybe it's friends. Maybe it's a wife. Maybe it's a colleague. Whomever it is. There are people who have made the decision to disengage. Don't waste your time on them. He goes on, and that's a difficult thing. Trust me, it's a difficult thing. He goes on to say, the more energy you spend worrying about the people who didn't get on your bus, the less you will have for the people who are on your bus. Think of it that way. If you feel selfish, if you feel mean or whatever negativity you might feel for not focusing on that person who doesn't want to be engaged, think of it that way. The more energy you spend on them, the less you will have for the people who are on your bus. And I'll sign off with this. You give people a chance to change, and if they don't get it, then you get to kick them off of your bus, or they will ruin your ride. So give these people a chance to change, encourage them to change, show them the way, the blueprint, the framework to change. And when you have decided, you know what, I've tried the best I can, they are not willing to change, then you can kick them off your bus, because it's either going to bring them down, or it's going to bring them down and you down and everyone else on your bus. So thank you for tuning in to AM Excellence 75. As I said, Dred and I, we're actively searching, actively looking for, actively building this community. We want, on my podcast, I'm not looking to talk about me all the time. I want to talk about you. I want to hear your stories, your adversity, your implementation of a fighter's mindset in your life and how that is making a difference. That's what Dred and I, on a Fighter's Mindset, the Spaniard podcast, on these videos, that's what we're after. So please make contact. I want to talk about your stories. I'm asking you to get on my bus, right? Get on my bus, share those stories with me. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow for AM Excellence 76. Whatever it will be called, I do not know. Carpe diem, fight well, visit us Share your stories, charlie-brenneman.com. Carpe diem, fight well.